we read about GAP, we read about IFRS. What is the relevance of these two, in the current business world?
So when we use this term GAP, it is generally accepted accounting principles. So this accounting principles and GAP, let me tell you, it is more used in the US context actually.
Okay.
But when we talk about IFRS is International Financial Reporting Standards, which is relatively a newer concept which has come in the last 20 years or so, when we have witnessed a lot of globalization happening.
Right.
And once this globalization happens, now as I told you, as a convention, if I'm writing my books of accounts in Indian rupees and I take over a European country's company, what is going to happen? They have written their books of accounts in some dollars or euros or something like that. Now I'm taking it over. Definitely the books of accounts have to be consolidated, merged together. How are you going to do that? Okay, there are going to be a lot of challenges which you're going to face, right? So IFRS, basically, there's an International Accounting Standard Board body who creates this IFRS. It is more of a newer concept where in such kind of discrepancies which might occur, it will ease your job of consolidating. If you are having your company is an MNC, which most of the companies today are MNC. It is not like you are just a India-based company or a US-based company. So there are a lot of as a convention, you have to follow an Indian convention also, and you will have to follow a US convention also. So you might have to prepare two sets of books. And if you have you are having something like in US also, in Europe also, in China also, in India also, how many sets of books you are going to be?
Okay.
So to make your job easy, we have something like, instead of following Indian standards alone, or instead of following US standards alone, or European standards alone, we have come across a uniform standard for all over the world countries. And as of now, there are 210 countries, if I'm not wrong, who are following IFRS.
Okay.
So
these are
internationally
accepted, standards.
These are internationally accepted standards, and everybody follows these standards. Yes, there's a lot of research still going that how do we, smoothen the process? How do we make it easy? Because if a normal books or normal income statement, which would be of a 10 pages, if you look into IFRS, it can go into 100 pages, because that much of reporting, that much detailed reporting is required there, so that the stakeholders are very well informed. This helps actually because as the markets, as the globe is getting closer, or what we say is today's world is flat. So what is happening here? It helps in a lot of investment opportunities, expansion opportunities, and the markets, the share markets and all that. Also, it helps a lot if you are into this IFRS. Talking about GAP, as I said, it is more of a US thing, and US GAP is only followed in US only. Otherwise, all the countries have started following IFRS. In India, the Institute of Chartered Accountants is one of the member of this International Accounting Standard Board, and our accounting standards, we call it as IND-AS, that is IND. IND for India, AS stands for Accounting Standards, is 99% same as IFRS. One or two things here and there, maybe it is not implemented because in Indian context they are not relevant.
Okay.
So earlier we used to have this accounting standards which are set by the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and it was only relevant to India. So we used to call it as AS, and there are numbers to it. So AS1, AS2 kind of, there are numbers to it. As of now, that has got revised to IND-AS, which is almost same, as I said, 99% same as IFRS, and it is called as Ind AS. That
Okay.
is what is IFRS and GAP all about.